Merry Christmas, mother fathers.
Your brothers and sisters too.
And grandmas and grandpas.
Hi, I'm Jay.
Hi, I'm Marie.
And you're watching Lunch Break.
Ding 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 ding. You watching Lunch Break?
I like that. Well, if you couldn't tell, our episodes this week are Christmas themed. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas!
And you know what I love for Christmas, Marie?
What do you love for Christmas?
Assholes. So today we're reading stories from Am I the Asshole? And just like we said, they're Christmas themed and we hope you enjoy them.
Enjoy the assholes. No, that's not good.
Am I the asshole for acting like a conspiracy theorist to get out of political arguments with my dad?
If you're not wearing a foil hat, I don't believe you.
That's a very fair point. My dad loves to have political arguments/discussions with me and other members of the family. I honestly think he does not care about half these issues and just wants to have fights with me and other people in the family. I have tried to simply opt out of them, but my dad will get upset at me for not participating with the family dynamic and never talking to him. I also don't really want him to have these discussions with other members of my family, since they always end up in hurt feelings. I've been looking for a redirect for a while. I read a post online on doubling down whenever someone says a conspiracy theory. For example, if someone says they faked the moon landing, you say, haha, you sucker, you believe the moon is real? I decided to implement the strategy after getting into way too many political arguments and upsetting myself and everyone around me. My dad saw something about climate change and started talking about how the Chinese government partnered with Obama to make it all up. I truly did not want to get into this political discussion. Instead, I said, oh, you've heard that? Well, get this. And discussed my new theory about how the federal government has created a tornado machine to set on people who want to vote Republican in the next election. He was truly flabbergasted at how stupid this was and decided to stop talking to me about this. It was wonderful. I've been doing it even more and haven't had a political argument in a whole month. This Christmas, he had a doozy planned. My aunt and her wife are feminists and very pro-choice. At the dinner table, he tried to do a toast to the death of Planned Parenthood. Let me note that he is pro-choice, really doesn't care about this issue, and has said so several times. I think he just wanted to start a fight for the sport of it. Time and place. I said, oh, thank God you mentioned it. I have to tell you this news I learned, and I talked about how Planned Parenthood does not, in fact, perform abortions, since it's physically impossible, but instead removes entire uteruses and replaces them with dog uteruses. I received a lecture about not taking people's political views seriously from my mom. I said it was just a strategy I used to defuse political discussions. My mom said, you're just making yourself look dismissive at best and insane at worst. Are they the asshole?
I said no. It's a really good and funny way to shut someone up. It's like, you want to talk about that? What about this?
OP said in the beginning that they usually try to opt out of these kind of conversations. I mean, you can't blame them. Like, I'm sure a lot of families end up dealing with this every year. You have the one person in the family that wants to talk politics, get into discussions just to have arguments, and then you get kind of called out for like not wanting to join the conversation. So what do? You say the craziest things you could think of. No one's going to want to discuss this with you because you don't seem to take it serious.
Maybe you take it too serious.
Not the asshole. Your dad sounds like a shit stirrer. Is he the type of person who starts an argument and then backs out of it while everyone else argues with each other? And then OP responded to that, no, he likes to be involved in the argument. His argument style is to contradict everything to the point where everyone, regardless of their view, is frustrated and angry with him. So yeah, he just likes conflict.
I think he just bored and he have own opinion. He's like reading news, probably some kind of gazette where he just like, oh, this and this and this happened and that happened. And he think that's his own ideas and his own knowledge and he's extra sure in this information. And he start talking to you, maybe not even start a fight, to just discuss it. All understand. All people in the world understand it's a bullshit, except some people who don't understand. Sounds ridiculous, but it's true. He wants to have the conversation and maybe open up a little bit, but smart kids tell him, no, it doesn't work that way, and he feel offended. Maybe he was one of those.
Am I the asshole for skipping Christmas with my parents since they won't treat me like an adult? I guess that depends on how serious it is. I just imagine they like dress them up in cute outfits and put the little hats with the propellers on the top and spin them.
Or you're 10, but you think you're so adult and you decide to go to the bar.
And if you're 10, you shouldn't be on Reddit. But let's read the story.
Yes, let's go.
I, female 27, have been with my boyfriend, 33, for almost 2 years now. We will be getting married eventually, but it's not a priority. My mom won't let us share a bed if we come to see them for any reason. When we came over this last summer, my boyfriend suggested renting a hotel so we could have privacy and a comfortable bed. It drove my mom nuts that we bypassed her little rules. She wouldn't drop it the entire time we were there. She made me promise not to do that again. My boyfriend's mom and dad are retired to Mexico and they are really chill. So we made plans to come visit them over Christmas. They're not Christians, so they don't really care when they see their son with regards to religious holidays. We didn't tell my parents we weren't coming. My mom asked me at Thanksgiving if I was going to hold my promise not to stay at a hotel over Christmas. I answered truthfully that I would not stay at a hotel. You answered truthfully, but that was kind of a lie.
I mean, she's not going to stay in a hotel.
Right. Lying by omission.
I mean, this situation is kind of like, you adult people, you can do whatever you want. And yeah, if you don't want to spend Christmas with the parents, it's fine.
I am sitting here on the balcony of my future in-law's condo, looking over at the Caribbean, waiting for sunrise, enjoying the peace and quiet. I made the mistake of going online yesterday, and I saw a bunch of posts from my mom and my sisters about how I was a jerk for lying to them about my plans. I may have been a little tipsy last night because I decided to respond. I said that it was ridiculous of them to try and tell me I couldn't share a room with my boyfriend, that I was keeping my promise by not staying at a hotel when we were there, and that if they planned on putting everything on Facebook, I will be avoiding all visits for the foreseeable future. They took down their posts when people started crapping on them for trying to control me, but some people did agree with them. Now they are texting me and calling to say I was an asshole for making them look bad. I asked them if they were trying to make me look good with their posts. They stopped for a while, but there were more texts and voicemails this morning. I'm kind of liking the idea of skipping out on the drama from now on, but I miss my dad and he is blameless in this. Am I the asshole?
No, not the asshole. That's kind of insane to trying to manipulate a 27 years old.
I wouldn't say OP's the asshole. I just think that OP could have been more direct. I think with situations like this, like the mom has a right to set the rules in her house. It's her house. And if she wants to make it a rule that like, if you're not married, you can't stay in the same bed together, that's perfectly fine. It's her house. Mm-hmm. You have every right as an adult to be like, well, I don't want to spend time here. I think she definitely put her in a corner by saying, promise you're never going to get a hotel. And that's not really fair. And I could understand why you were just like, well, f this, I'm not going to spend time with you then. And then the posting it on Facebook kind of gets me too. Like that's super immature. Like I'm not a big fan of like posting online like your personal family business like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll go on Facebook and see stuff like that online and definitely read it. So thank you. But like I'm totally against just posting it on there because now you open it up for everyone else to share their opinion. Like they essentially got bullied to taking it down. So other people agree with OP that like, hey, you're right to feel the way you feel. I just think you could have at least been more direct. And you're going to have your arguments and stuff, but you're at least being direct about it. Other than that, like, I don't think you suck. Like, I think the official verdict was everyone sucks. I don't think you suck. Like, you want to spend time with your boyfriend and you still want to visit your family. So to respect your mom's rules, you got your own spot. And just like her pressuring you to not get the hotel again, I think that's really ridiculous and not really respecting you as an adult.
No, I think our answer was pretty good. She was like, I promised not to take a hotel. I didn't. Do I do whatever I promised? Yes. Does it involve you? No. I don't understand why everyone is asshole in this situation.
Well, one commenter had this to say, everyone sucks here. Your mom is horribly controlling. That's not in question. But instead of saying, I will be spending Christmas with you this year, I'm going to the in-laws, and if I come to you again, we will stay in a hotel, you lied in such a way that they thought you'd be attending. Instead of acting in an adult manner in which you want to be treated, you behaved like a kid.
I disagree.
Like I said, the only thing I don't necessarily agree with, and I kind of agree with this poster as far as just like you not being direct.
Why you need to be direct?
That's the other side of it too. You really don't have to explain everything you're doing. But I guess like for the sake of being honest and trying to maintain a relationship with your family and not cause as much conflict, like, yeah, saying that you're not going to come spend Christmas with them. And if you do, you're going to get a hotel is going to cause conflict, but at least everyone knows where people stand. And that's the quote unquote adult thing to do. It's lying by omission is what they call it.
Being adult is just a being kid, but with a little bit more responsibilities. And if you don't want to take those responsibilities, that's your choice. You don't want to talk about where you're going to go? You don't need to. It's your choice. The consequences of your choice, that's your responsibility. In this particular situation, only this would I actually agree with that commenter.
Just for a little clarification on the story, I guess a lot of people were wondering, like, why weren't you direct? Mm-hmm. One commenter wrote, info. Is there a reason you didn't just tell them up front that you would be spending Christmas with your boyfriend's family? They're assholes for trying to control you like that, but I don't really see what you gain by misleading them about your plans. OP responded, to avoid weeks of my mom trying to manipulate me into going home.
Yeah, so in general, she's an asshole.
Yeah, you know, with any of these Reddit stories, like, you're not going to get everyone's entire family history in a single post unless they're willing to write their entire family history in a single post. Just kind of like pulling from the quick details that we got from the story, from some of the comments, it just seems like that the mom is an overbearing presence. And even if she was direct, she would have just pressured her, and she probably knows herself, like, I would have caved to that pressure. And they just felt for whatever reason, it was just easier to, like, not say anything and just disappear for the holiday. We don't think you're the asshole. Your mom has the right to have the rules in her house, and you have a right to not attend.
Agree.
Well, a little more family drama, because Christmas is a family holiday.
And time for drama?
Am I the asshole for calling my wife unreasonable for backing out of spending Christmas with my family after my mother rejected her cookie sample? It sounds like a really weird concept just in that title.
Yeah.
Let's see what it's about. Context. I love posts that start with context.
We really appreciate it.
Usually it's like, I know on the surface I'm probably an asshole, but here's what's going to pull you to my side. Context. For every holiday, my mother would ask the women in the family, my sisters, sister-in-law, my wife, my female cousins, to send samples of the desserts they plan to bring to the celebration for testing and to see if these desserts can make it to the food menu. My wife has been complaining about my mother deliberately rejecting every dessert sample she sent. So many times my mother has told her that she's being honest and keeping the guest's best interest at heart. Yet my wife still thought that my mother is deliberately excluding her. So many times my mother has told her that she's being honest and keeping the guest's best interest at heart, since 2 of her dessert samples were rejected before.
Your mom is kind of that, it must be specific dessert. You must to fight in the dirt to have the spot on a table. That's insane.
For this year's Christmas, my mother's doing the same thing, but this time she told every woman who is participating to make a cookie sample and send it to her for testing. My wife took it as a challenge, and to be honest, she worked really hard to make a good sample and sent it to my mother days ago, and the results just came in yesterday. I came home from work and found my wife upset. I asked what's wrong, and she told me that my mother rejected the sample she sent and decided to exclude her baking from the food list/menu for Christmas this year. I didn't know what to say, but she then told me she was backing out of the invitation to attend Christmas with my family. I was stunned when I heard her make the statement. I tried to talk to her, but she said it was done. I called her unreasonable to decide to bail on the whole family over some cookie sample. That's just freaking crazy and quite unreasonable. We had a full-on argument about it, and she stated that my mother caused this, but I told her that my mother is pretty serious and careful about the food she offers to the guests, since we are going to have relatives coming from all sides of the country. She told me to stop mentioning it. Later, I heard her cry despite telling her that her baking is amazing and people have preferences. That's all. Am I the asshole for insisting that her decision was unreasonable?
It sounds ridiculous from the beginning, but you know what you can do?
What's that?
You can actually go to some really expensive French bakery, but the cookie, the best in the shop, and send it to your mother and see if she's reject those. And if she did, she just doesn't like you.
You know what I think would be an even better test? To find a sympathetic sister to the OP and say like, hey, let's switch submissions and see what she says.
It's kind of a Hunger Games. So they just like fight for a spot on a table with the cookies. It's like, who do you think you are, lady?
Yeah, I think if we were trying to find like a general theme among the stories we read today, people, especially during the holidays, really want to exert this level of control that they wouldn't have otherwise and have the justification of, well, it's for the family, it's for Christmas. It just seems like all of these people mentioned in these stories just want to exert that control. Probably gets off on being able to be the one that people need to impress. And she enjoys that power of being able to reject people.
So she's just entitled.
Well, let's bring it back to the main question of this post.
Yes.
Because this is, the OP is the husband.
Yes.
Who's saying that he called his wife unreasonable.
Yes.
Because she didn't like the fact that his mother is the one rejecting her. So to answer the question, is OP the asshole?
100% asshole.
I think he wants to prove that he's not. He actually included some info in an edit, so let's get into it.
Okay.
Info. If you're asking whose cookie sample made it to the menu, the answer is my sister and my 2 cousins.
It doesn't help.
It does not help at all. So people that are related to her made the cut. Info, few things to put on here. My wife wasn't the only one whose sample was rejected. We have sister-in-laws, brother's wife, and my younger sisters. My mother did not force anyone to participate. It was up to whoever wanted to take part. This is just about the dessert since my mother tends to be very careful in this category, but for other types of foods, dishes, appetizers, salads, stuff like that, is welcome as she stated.
Still doesn't help. She's still over fixated. It was exactly what's supposed to be on the table. Why everyone can bring something, maybe not cook a lot, but a little bit, because tastes are different. What's your mother don't like, maybe someone else gonna like. You like your wife's food, right? Or you don't.
Number 2 about like no one was forced to participate. Did you pressure her to participate? Like, were you like, oh, like you need to do this. My mom does this every year. You have to do it, right?
That's question.
Or maybe she even feels pressured to participate because she wants to be accepted by your family.
Sure.
Because of this, she doesn't feel accepted.
Yep.
Looks like OP has one last update to try to prove that he's not the asshole. Great. So I just got off the phone with my brother and he told me that his wife is doing the same thing as my wife and that she has decided to back out of the invitation to spend Christmas with family as well. Turns out my wife must have told her about her decision and she decided to follow her lead. My brother is pissed, saying my wife is encouraging his wife to do this. I see that the problem has just gotten bigger now. Who knows? My younger sister might join in and decide not to go as well. I don't know how this got out of control so quickly. I guess we'll try to have a discussion with my mother about this soon and see how it goes.
What if it's not became so bad so quickly, you just blind? And your brother probably the same idiot as you. Like, oh, your wife told me my wife and now my wife, I'm gonna be mad. Cry babies. Take the responsibility. It's your wife and she's upset. But my mama.
You know, talking about comments like that, Marie, it looks like they had to lock this post, as per the mod, locked due to excessive uncivil comments. Yeah, you're kind of the asshole. You should have taken her side. And honestly, like, you're not gonna be able to change your mother's way of doing Christmas, but you definitely don't have to partake in it. Well, Marie, those are some a-holes in this story. Some of them were the OP and some of them were not. And we hope that you guys, as our viewers, are able to resolve your Christmas differences this year and, you know, just try to find the positive all in these family gatherings. But if not, and you have a story to share, how about you hit us up on our subreddit r/lunchbreak_GSP. We'd love to hear your stories and maybe we'll read them right here on the next video. And Marie, how else can our viewers interact with us?
We have a specific Christmas plan. You like, you left a comment, and you subscribe on our channel. That way you don't lose more episodes of Lunch Breaks. And see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.